So today I am blessed with a visit from Danielle Hutton, co-owner of Fairview Cellars in beautiful Golden Mile Bench, Oliver, British Columbia. And this is a story we all need to hear, ladies, ladies and gentlemen, but ladies, because Danielle, mom of three, with a lovely husband, took the bold leap out of East Van and headed to Oliver like a decade ago after, being the manager and super host of all the finest restaurants, really, in Whistler and Vancouver. And gosh, checking in just to see how this big city, big city gal is adapting to Oliver. And, you arrived in 2020, and then we had some like COVID, and then we had frost, and before that we had fires, and it's like been kind of crazy if you ask me. And the epitome of entrepreneurial, starship life is that you're pivoting, and you got three kids, and you're pivoting, and it's like, oh my goodness. Anyway, but you are crafting beautiful wines. And I visited, was it last year? I can't even remember now. Yes.
Yeah,
Seems like
the
a
end.
forever
Yeah.
ago. Visited last year, tasted, went through the beautiful cheese tasting that you have, the pairing option, which was like such a great deal. And met Steve, who of course was lovely. I love the log building. I don't know if you call it a cabin, but I love the log cabin. I love the bear, which you kindly left me with on my way.
We call it a cat.
It is a cabin, right? It is a cabin. Yeah. So, Danielle, I just want to welcome you
Yeah.
today to the Good Wine Gal podcast and just say hello, thank you, and how's it going?
Well, thank you. This is such an honor to be talking to you again. I just love being around you. I love everything you do, and I'm so grateful that we're getting a chance to talk again today. It's been a great season so far. We're having a lot of fun here in Oliver, and yeah, things are going well. Today is a beautiful day. Sun is shining, not too hot. People on the patio enjoying themselves. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, and the air is clear, and we've been stressing. We've got fires around us. We've got fires in Chelan. We've got fires in Boston Bar. I mean, it is fire season, unfortunately. We've come to call it that. It's quite amazing watching the fire brigades tackle these starting fires. I'm pretty sure they believe that if they could just get on it right away, that the chances of it becoming out of control and huge, it just is eliminated. So, aren't we
Oh
lucky?
man, they're on it. We've had to call a couple of times over the last couple of years. Being here one morning, Dermot and I were both here. My husband and he was out on the tractor. I was driving up, and there was lightning strikes all over the place. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to get there, and he's going to be sizzled. And he was off the tractor, but we were standing down on the crush pad, and we saw a bolt of lightning hit the mountain right above the golf course next to us. And then all of a sudden, the smoke started. And so we called the fire, and they were there in minutes. Like, it was fast. They had that out. They had people dropped in. They are on it. In this area especially, we have volunteer firefighter brigade that is just, they do all the best work in the world, and so grateful to them.
So
They really
grateful.
understand how important. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
So grateful. And it's practiced now. Like the lessons are hard ones that we've learned. So anyway, it's also, I mean, so I've been watching France and Spain and crying. 300,000 people evacuated. I sent my brother a note who's a helicopter pilot, and he does fly and take the troops out to the fire and does all the things, moves the
Yeah.
water and the repellent, and he's been in Northern Ontario and then Northwest Territories. Anyway, I sent him a note and I said, pray for the grapes. And he sent me back a note and he's like, give me a break. There's more things to be praying for. And I'm like, I know, but I'm good wine gal and I want to pray for the grapes.
I know. And as a winery owner, winemaker, there, you know, I have to remember, oh my gosh, like there are real issues. Smoke might come near is very important to me and my endeavors, but you know, we have to think about the big picture and just hope that everybody's safe and stay safe. And you know, it's a tough road to travel right now with the amount that's coming up all over the world and just devastation. But again, just so grateful to the people that we have here in our little communities who do everything to make sure that we're all safe. And that the grapes are safe too. We can hope for both.
Yeah, and that the grapes are safe. We're safe and the grapes are safe. Two important
That's
things.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how's life in the fast lane in Oliver?
Oh my gosh. It's so funny because when we first moved up here, my husband and I came up here, our youngest was 4 weeks old. It was Mother's Day. She's April 8th, and it was 2016. So she just turned 10. And we came up here and I thought, what a beautiful place. And so we just gave up everything, our jobs and the whole kit and caboodle, and moved up here. And my husband said, how is my big city wife gonna manage in a little town? And I couldn't imagine anything better for our family. Honestly, I don't regret moving out of the city for 1 second. We have made the most amazing friends up here. Everybody's on a mission. Everybody feels the same way about community. There's everything is so easy, so right there. I miss the big city sometimes, and we still have lots of great friends in the city. I took my son, who just turned 12, and we went down 2 weekends ago. And he's a little foodie. So I took him to some of his favorite restaurants and they treated him like a king and he felt very special. And, you know, we wandered around and did the science world and did all those things.
Yeah.
And the city is a beautiful spot. And we love that really in realistically, it's 4.5 hours. I mean, who cares? You get on the highway and you're there in no time. You can be there for lunch. But this is a special place. And people ask me, you know, how did you know that this is what you wanted to do with your life? I had no idea. This wasn't even in the dream space. Like I didn't even know it was possible. So it wasn't something that I could have planned for. It just happens that the decisions that we made put us in a position where this became a reality. And we're so happy, both of us. I mean, my husband, same thing. He came from restaurants. He was wearing suits and working nights. And now he's out on the tractor at 4 o'clock in the morning. And he sends me photos of the sun coming up. And he's just like, it's heaven. It's the best thing. It's heaven.
It's heaven.
Yeah.
It's funny because, to your point, who thinks of these things? But then once you discover the alternative to a big city life, there's a lot of glory that's somewhat an illusion when you live in the city because the sort of the celebrity status of a somm or a restaurant, you know, it's not that glamorous. And now you get, well, you know, right? You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
People talk about it all the time.
So favorite restaurant in Oliver?
But you're right.
Yeah. Favorite restaurant in Oliver, favorite restaurant in Vancouver?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
Well, your son's, because he's a foodie. And did you go to Phnom Penh or something like that? No,
Elisa.
Oh.
Yeah. He loves the steak. And it's just, you know, Blue Water, it was like home to me. You know, I spent years there and it feels like home. He and he really loves it there too, but he is really drawn to the meat. So that's his favorite. So that's where I took him for his birthday dinner. He loved it. It was his second year in a row that I took him there for his birthday dinner. And here, you know, our good friends have Ward's Wine Country Kitchen in the District Wine Village, and they are just the best people in the industry that run a restaurant. They're just, they make it feel like home. They're also our best friends. So it's,
Well, that makes it easy, but like Ward's Country Kitchen, that's where we ran into each other in that vineyard dinner. That was amazing.
That's right. It was amazing. And Ian is their chef there. I mean, he makes food for where they are. And he does really amazing food, but he also just has the most amazing imagination and ability to put things together. So that dinner that we were at was beautiful, and he did a great job for all, again, the wind and the outside. And
no, that was Danielle. I don't call that wind. I call that a tornado or a hurricane. That was like,
gosh,
it
was crazy.
Well, I couldn't even put the glasses on the table because they were going to blow over. I'm like, what? Hang on.
And the fact that food was still so amazing and we didn't lose half of it onto the floor with the wind and all of those things.
All of those things.
And every year we do a winemaker's dinner here at the winery with them. So we've done 4 in the beginnings of the season. And he comes and he sets up in our cellar and cooks for 40 people. And I have not, it's just, he's such a great chef, and he just feels the food and wine pairing so well. We sit, we taste through the wines and just talk about what are we going to do? What's he going to do? How do we play with these flavors? How are we going to do those things? Working with Ian, and he's the chef that I've worked with the most for things like that. I have the utmost of respect for him and for Scott and Mindy running that restaurant as well. So, I mean, we're very lucky, again, this area being in such a small place, to have the breadth of places that we have to go. I hadn't been to Burrowing Owl's restaurant in ages, and my husband and I went a few weeks ago, and it was beautiful. The food was amazing. We went to Miradoro last week with the kids, and you know, my son loves the carbonara, like that's his favorite thing in the whole entire world. You know, Park 15, there's all these, Hester Creek. We have world-class restaurants at our fingertips in a town that has 5,000 people. Yeah. When you think about that, it's insane. It
speaks to international crowd. It speaks to world travelers. It speaks to wine. Wine brings more. If we think about grape growing and winemaking, then, and also where we are. So an abundance of farms, orchards, you know, all the things.
We're getting our box of peaches from our friends that have a farm up by Vassal Lake this week. And they're like, every year I just buy as many peaches as I like, just the best.
Yeah.
Like thing that when you taste a peach off a farm from here and you've just had them out of a grocery store before, it's like not even the same animal. It's like completely different ballgame. Abundance.
Abundance.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, why don't we taste and then we can keep talking, but I'm just going to hold this up. Usually it doesn't work, but maybe you can see. Looks today we have a good view. This says Fairview Cellars. This is Allura. Do I say that right? And it is, so it says Charmat method. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yes. So do you want to talk about Charmat method for anyone who might not know?
Sure. So Charmat method is basically secondary fermentation in a large bright tank. So it goes, you know, there are a few different ways that you can make a sparkling wine. You can basically CO2 infuse it like a soda stream situation where you're just adding the bubbles with CO2. There's traditional method where you're looking at individual secondary fermentation per bottle. And then this is that, but on a large scale. So
Sometimes called the Australian method.
yeah.
Because they make so much of it that they have these pressurized tanks and they just,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's not bad. It's good. You know,
Yeah.
like, okay, don't be a traditional method snob. You got to give it a try.
That's right. At least it's going through a secondary fermentation. Not that I'm throwing shade on any way you want to have a bubble, because I am a big proponent of bubbles in any form that they come in. I just wanted,
I didn't kill anyone, thank God. That scared me. I did not think that was going to happen. So traditional method usually is like, you know, high bars, like 5 to 6 bar pressure in, not bars. Yeah, it's PSI, right? 60 PSI. So Charmat might be a little bit less, but this was not less.
No. No.
I was like, this should be easy.
Yeah.
So funny. Ah! Let's do that again. Oh, and look, what a beautiful color.
Yeah.
And you want to talk about, so you got Allura's the name. What are we, is this Pinot Noir, Chardonnay,
It's
Rosé?
Pinot Noir Chardonnay. So I wasn't looking to make a rosé bubbles. I was looking to make bubbles, but I did like a little, I like a little skin contact.
Yeah.
So with the Pinot, I did whole cluster press, but I put the Pinot in the press and then just shut it all up, put the caps on it, and just let the weight of the berries just sit for a little while. And then that weight just got some skin contact with the juice before I pressed it. And that gave the Pinot a little bit of that color. So
I love the color.
I'm happy with the color too.
It's delicate. There's a hue. There's a hue of this like delicate pink.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous, you know, people will travel far for this hue in a glass. So good for you. Well done.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So that's coming from the Pinot Noir. So it ended up being about 70% of the blend was the Pinot. So that fermented in tank. And then I did Chardonnay, also whole cluster press. And I pressed that into a tank and then put it into neutral French oak for fermentation, just to get a little bit of mouthfeel from the Chardonnay, to get a little bit of, I wanted a little bit of that yeasty oakiness, but it was second fill, so I wasn't looking for a ton of oak. Let that ferment and then blended it together post-fermentation, the Chardonnay and the Pinot Noir.
So it's like everything you just said delivered.
Oh, thank you.
You know, like it's got a kind of a light, lazy nose, but it's not strong. It's not biscuit. But it's all delicate. And then the flavors on your palate, there's a bit of weight to it, which is interesting. And the Chardonnay is busy, like it's active. You know, when you have like a Blanc de Noir, it's kind of like berry-esque. And when you have, you know, Blanc de Blanc, it's like a little more lean and piercing. And this is kind of like your best friend who's just laying on the couch. She's kind of all like hanging out, but she's like relaxed, and she's like, "Hey, I need some potato chips to go with this." Okay,
maybe I may have had a potato chip or two with it.
Yes, but that's what you do, and I do like. There's this berry note that's like just along the finish, and the finish just lingers, and yeah, it's quite fun. When did you, this good, well done you. So when did you release this?
We released it actually at that Ward's dinner that we had, the winemakers dinner that we had here. So we did that. That was in June. the beginning of June, and we did it as the welcome wine. That was its big release. I was going to hold it until the fall, but I was tasting it because you always have to make sure things are going well. So I was tasting, and I thought, I really wanted it. We were going farther into the summer. Ian had some really great, bright flavors that he was going to be able to put into that dinner. And so we thought, let's let it out. Let's start it up.
Good.
So,
and how many bottles did you make?
We made just about 500 cases. So that's a lot for us.
Oh, and what would the price of the bottle be?
It's $40.
Okay. So
yeah,
pack up your piggy bank spokes and let's go get some bubbles. I love it. And the packaging is so elegant. I mean, honestly, so I know Bill Eggert, the previous owner and your mentor to some great,
absolutely.
Great gift. Great gift. This man is all like, I think he eats, sleeps, and dreams wine. This guy is just all passion and all piss and vinegar and always about the grape, always about the grape, always about the grape. And then the creativity about, okay, this is what we got. Now, what are we going to do? Like he's a solutions guy too. So he's super interesting. Tell me about your like at first you must have been like, oh boy, I don't know if this is going to work. Or did you just feel instantly that you and Bill had this great rapport? What was the vibe?
Well, we did. So when my husband and I, when we moved up here, we became partners in a brewery. So that was in 2016, and it's the brewery in town. And so I worked the bar most of the time. So I was behind the bar pouring beer. And Bill used to come in on Friday night. So I got to know him that way. And I always had great respect for him, and I loved his wine. And then when we sold our portion of the brewery, I knew we were staying. I didn't know what the next chapter was going to look like. And so I actually was talking to Sandra Oldfield, and we had lunch one day, and she was just so helpful in every way. Sandra is just amazing. She's
the queen.
She's the queen. And so she said, okay, well, wine business. And I said, yeah. She's like, okay, leave it with me and let me see. And she eventually came back and she said, well, how do you feel about being a general manager of a small winery? And I thought, yeah, that sounds great. And then I kind of got the feeling it was Bill. And when Bill and I sat down and talked about it, it just felt right. It just felt right. He wanted a general manager. He wanted to pull back a little bit. So he wanted somebody who was going to dedicate themselves to it. I was ready to dedicate myself to something. I'm not the type of person that doesn't dedicate myself to something when I get involved. Like every restaurant I've ever worked at, I felt like was mine. Like that's just the way that I run. And so I started working for him, and he was great. And he taught me a ton, and he did everything himself. So he had to, learn how to really share the reins but he was a great teacher, and there was nothing that was off the table. It was, okay, this is what we're doing today. I had to be ready to do literally anything at any point in time, all the time. And that was great because my background is hospitality. I have never been out in a vineyard before other than on a vineyard tour. I've never had to deal with irrigation or any of this stuff. And he does all the electrical, he does everything. So I learned all the basic bits of everything that needs to be done when you own a property like this. So when the time came and we made the offer, and it was like, yes, it was, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. And he was ready to let go of the business at that time, and it all worked out really well. And I couldn't be more grateful for that path, honestly, because again, you know, not even not knowing that having a winery and making wine as my life was a possibility. I didn't know that was a possibility. I don't know any other way that I could have done it and felt as secure as I do. You know, we've been thrown curveballs all over the place, but when it comes right down to it, I know that, you know, I could go out and fix the irrigation. There's almost nothing on this property that I couldn't figure out how to do myself if I had to. So, and I know where everything's buried. I know all the stuff. It's not like I just walked in and bought a winery and it's like, oh, where's, I don't know, the sewage tank, or where's this, or where's that, you know, those things that you don't think about having to know if you don't have that background. I knew all of that stuff. So it's been a really good transition. And I'm very grateful because being, living through a few more difficult years, having the winery, there has never been a huge amount of fear. It's just, okay, what's next? Okay, let's do this. Okay, how do we fix that? How do we make this go? How do we improve this? You know, and so that's been really great. And I have that foundation really to be grateful for.
I love that for you. I also really appreciate Bill because not everyone has the vision or the vulnerability or the skill set to pass along historic information that lets you be in on the big secret. Like, here's where all the bodies are buried, and
exactly.
yeah. And you're not a billionaire, so you're not
No.
going to throw money at a problem. You're actually going to own it and you're going to solve it. And I think that's kudos to you because that's a special compartment in your brain that carries all of the what do you call it? Like the secrets of the business for success, you know? Like you've got this wheelhouse and to your point about solutions. Like, how cool is that? Like, and I'm not saying, I'm sure you have anxiety. I'm sure there are nights that you're like, okay, what the, but you know, right? Because, you know, COVID was like, well, what do we do now? And then the fires, what do we do now? Because smoke taint, what do we do now? And then like, okay, now frost, okay, 50%, okay, now frost again. Okay, so like now what, you know, like where, like, did you participate? Okay, one of the solutions that the government or that seemed to be coming up was, you know, okay, vaccines and social spacing and reservation systems now at wineries. And so that's interesting. I don't know if you're still keeping those things going, if you think that they provided good solutions and opportunities.
Well, do you know what it did? It because I was working for Bill when the pandemic started. And so it was a lot of those. I mean, we brought in the plexiglass. We moved all of our tastings out on the patio where we could separate everything 6 feet. We were doing the glassware, which we've kept doing, which changed the game because it's just gotten busier as far as tastings go now. And we're very small. I mean, that's one thing. I can fix a lot of things, but I can't build a building and add more water and do those kind of things.
Right.
So we have a tiny little dishwasher. We just don't have a lot of indoor space. So having all of the tastings done on the patio gave us so much more ability to be able to take care of people. But on top of that, I think it's a really great space. And now we've added shade sails. So even in the middle of summer, it's not unbearable out there. But it's given us an opportunity to be able to create the type of experience that we want people to have when they're here too. I don't want people to feel like they're just coming in it's a cattle call. Okay, next, who's tasting this? Who's tasting that? I want people to be able to sit here for an hour and do the tasting and experience the wines together as a table, to talk to us, for us to have the freedom and the ability and the time to be able to go into that with people. On the patio, that's really great because you can see everybody. Everybody can see you. So there isn't this, but everybody has their own privacy. They have their own space. They can, and for me, when I go to a winery, I want to sit with my husband and or whoever else I'm there with, and I want to discuss how we like it, what we like. And I want to be given the time, the freedom, and the space to do that. And that is that time, freedom, and space that I think is great. We also keep the glasses. The glasses we put our brand on and the year on, and that's the tasting fee. You get your glass and you keep your glass. And we don't make any money on those glasses. They're great. They're just, it's a great Riedel glass, right? The Riedel glass that we buy, we get it branded locally with Gary from Bandit. And that's their thing to take home. And when people are up here and they're on wine excursions, a lot of the time you're staying maybe in a B&B or a hotel or something that doesn't have good glassware, but you're sitting here and you're enjoying really great wine that you've purchased from all these really amazing wineries. And now you have a glass that you can drink it in, and it's going to make a difference, right? So and people really like that. So I've kept those things. And I'm really happy with the way things are going from a tasting perspective. And a lot of that was instigated through that COVID.
I think an additional benefit, only because I don't know if maybe the tastings happened in the cabin before, but that view is spectacular. And if you are in the cabin or sitting inside, you are not going to get it. And honestly, we are living in one of the most beautiful wine countries in the world. It is so picturesque and photogenic. And there is Fairview Cellars. I mean, like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
We do. We have a spectacular view. And I've had people who'd been coming here for years who had no idea, because they drove up in the driveway, came into the cabin, and then left. They had no idea that was, and the room that I'm sitting in currently used to be Bill's office, and mine and Bill's office, and the door behind me was closed almost all the time. There's a window in front of me that looks down the valley, but again, nobody saw that. So now this area I have also for tastings or for wine experiences if it's raining outside or if we can't be outside, we do all the tastings in here. And we've tried to make it as comfortable in here as possible. And we do have the window so that you can see the view, but the patio just gives you, people stand out there and it's like, you can see them just breathe,
it's so like beautiful.
Yeah.
But I also hear all your hospitality skills, your intuition, your sensitivities, your empathic, nature around making sure that people have a sense of space and time and place and comfort and beauty. And then sensory experience of tasting and the special glasses, like, good on you. I think that really was striking at the dinner in the vineyard that you and I were at together in the District Wine Village with Wards, was that Riedel provided that kit of glasses, and there are many people who've never had the experience of tasting wine in these special glasses. And people, I was a naysayer in the beginning because I was like, I had to do my WSET diploma with ISO. Like, honestly, like that, I was like, well, if I had to do it, then everyone should have to do it. And there's all these fancy $50 glasses. And I'm like, well, that's just not fair. And then so the first time I met Alicia Harker, I was kind of, I wouldn't say I was dour. I've never been a dour person, but I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to bring my ISO along just to like double check this. And she was like, okay, you do that, girl. You just go right ahead. Anyway, I'm a convert.
I'm a convert too, 100%. And I've done some of those glassware specific. I bought my husband a whole set of them for his 50th birthday last year because, you know, he really appreciates wine as well. And he was shocked. He didn't believe it either. And then we went, and like the Chardonnay was the thing that just stood out. Everybody that doesn't like Chardonnay, I say, just put it in the right glass and taste it again. And you'll see, like, just, it's insane to me how much different it is. And when I have people come and they, you know, they say, oh, it's, you know, we take wine home from different places and we get it home and it's like, oh, it doesn't taste the same. And, you know, it's like, what are you drinking it out of? What are you drinking it with? You know, all of these important things. Like you met Steve, who works here with us, and he is the master of that food and wine pairing situation. And when he does things like that and puts those things together, it's phenomenal. And it's true. You know, you have with our cheese pairing from last year, I had a brie on it because we had the Chardonnay. And you'd have the brie with the Chardonnay, and it was spectacular. And then you'd have the brie with the bear, and it would be like, ooh, there's something's wrong. It tastes tinny or like aluminum or something.
Yep.
And so it's all about how, and it's not that the wine's bad. It's not that the cheese is bad. It's just that the two of them together aren't liking each other in the way that they should. And that's super easy to fix. You just have a bite of something else that goes with it and you can bring it back. It's just a matter of playing. Like food and wine are meant to be, that is everything. When I'm making wine, I'm always thinking about what I would be eating with it. It's the basis of life. It's family. It's sitting around a table. It's having, you know, those conversations and enjoying time and company and life. Right.
Yeah.
So all those important things.
Well, shout out to Steve Ward.
Yeah.
and shout out to you. So what would we pair with this lovely Allura?
Oh, I love this wine with, again, just like a plain potato chip with a little bit of like I did a creme fraiche. A creme fraiche with a little just regular salted potato chip was phenomenal. I mean, I'm the type of person now, sparkling is a whole different animal to me. I said this to guests that are friends of mine a little while ago. And I said, oh, for me, when I go to a restaurant before I ask for a glass of sparkling wine. I'm getting into, okay, what's my experience going to be? What is my night going to consist of? This is the way that I just settle into a space, look around me and figure out what that evening is going to be. So I'll have it with food, without food, the end of, like, I was talking to guests the other day, and he said that they've started to have it as the final thing that they have at a dinner party, that it's the closing of the evening. They open a bottle of sparkling. So, you know, lots of stuff, all the fancy stuff, the lobsters, the caviars, the champagne, the oyster, whatever. But it's just also just good with some popcorn, some potato chips.
I don't know about you, but I kind of closed my eyes and I was like, smoked trout. Like, I think I would be
that would be good.
So happy with smoked trout and a little creme fraiche and a little chive. It's just got some sweet, smoky. It brings out the smokiness in it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of my big idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I like it.
I like it too. Okay, so a couple more things. Do you have any advice to women coming into the industry?
Don't be scared to talk to people. I think, okay, again, I can only speak for myself. Coming into this industry, that's a pretty well-established industry. I had and do and will always probably feel like, oh my gosh, I am not qualified to be here. And I've talked to other, specifically female winemakers who have been in this industry for a long time and who have accolade upon accolade, and they still feel that way. And trying to overcome that is a huge thing. But the other side of that I found is that this couldn't be a more welcoming group of people. Like it really, if you just take the step and reach out and ask somebody for help or their opinion or anything. I have not had anybody close the door and say, no, I'm sorry, I don't talk about that with other winemakers, or no, I'm sorry. In fact, it's been 100% the opposite of that. Do you want me to come there right now? Do you need help with that right now? Can I help you? I'll show you this. I'll do this. Like, just so supportive, like
That's
being
amazing.
in different rooms and just allowing yourself to be a little bit vulnerable.
Vulnerable.
That
Come back.
you don't have to know everything. You don't have to feel so secure. Everybody's in the same boat, and don't be scared just because you're a woman and you don't want to look weak. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, just
build your
ask.
community.
There's so many people that would be willing to, it's given me good, I'm grateful for that. I don't even Yeah. So I think that's it. You know, sometimes we feel like we can't ask for help because we don't want to look weak.
Well, this is where I bring in the story about you, which is I have heard through the grapevine that you give the best hugs ever. So part of it is they get a reward if they are kind, and then you give them a big hug, and like the community just grows because everyone's waiting for a hug from Danielle. So that's what I spread. That's the rumor. And that's my experience too. You're very open and kind and generous and welcoming. And you don't also carry the gene that's like, no, I can't talk to you right now, or I'm busy. Yeah. The door is always open at Fairview Cellars, isn't it? Yeah.
Always. I give it my cell number and my email address is on the website. Like, if you need something, just message me. I don't care.
Just don't put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think mine is on Facebook. I get at least like 5 calls a day from some number. I just don't even know how that happened, but I don't care. No. I have 3,300 contacts. If I don't have your name and number in I'm not answering. So
no, you can text me if you need something and tell me who you are, and then I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Get right back to you. Yeah. And tell me, have you thought about what the future holds, or do you feel like it's unfolding and it's kind of like how it came upon you that, do you plan?
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of stuff.
Well, we're going to have harvest shortly.
We are. And the grapes look amazing. And I'm super happy. Last year's harvest was just so good as well. It was unbelievable. My biggest problem last year was finding enough tanks to do fermentations in. It was crazy. I had moved tanks around. I had Sauvignon Blanc in 6 small tanks because I needed to get it out of other tanks for red fermentations. We would start doing pump overs on reds, and by the second pump over need, I would barely be through the first round. It was crazy, but it was awesome. And I'm super happy with the grapes and the juice from last year, and the wine is coming along really nicely. All the red is in barrels, all the white is been bottled and is out in the world. I'm getting good feedback from everything currently. Good. This year, I'm again super happy with how the vines have come back. Yeah. We lost all our Cabernet Sauvignon, but we replanted it all, put in some Malbec. Everything's growing beautifully. We're a few years off from having Cab Sauv in the vineyard again, but I'm really happy with that clone. I'm excited about what that Cab Sauv is going to be able to bring us. And working with it. All of these things, I mean, our life is, I've got a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old. we're incorporating all of that. My 14-year-old just got her first job. We're navigating all of these things. So as a family, we're making plans. We've got just the best people in the world who work with us here at the winery. So it's giving us a lot of freedom to be able to start looking at making goals and not being worried about whether or not we have the actual time and energy to do it, that we have so many people here that we rely on every day, that we trust with everything. Like I have no doubt in my mind that everybody who works here can do what I do the same, if not better than I can. Everybody's got their, and they all put so much love and heart and soul into this place. I just am so grateful. So being able to take that step back and go, okay, what does this look like? For a while, we thought, okay, do we try and figure out how we buy a second vineyard and figure that out? Do we expand our cellar space? Do we increase production? Do we keep it the same? Do we look at the SKUs we're making? Do we try and figure out what that's going to look like? So that's kind of what we're doing every day. What do we need to make? What do we like to make? What are people reacting well to? Let's make decisions based on the best thing, not on the needed thing. So it's always trying to put ourselves into a position where we can make judgments on what that whole best thing is. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. We want to build some accommodation units on the property so that we can do some B&B, some agricultural tourism spots here. So that's kind of something that we're starting to think about. That needs to be done in the vineyard. We had a lovely man, John Tavares. He helped us with a nursery from cuttings from all of our existing vineyards. So we've got a ton of little baby plants currently, but we are working on watering situations. Water is a hurdle that we're going to have to
it's common.
And so interplanting in those rows where we have some vines that didn't make it over the past few years, we don't have a watering strategy for that yet. So we have all of those babies in nursery here on the property now, getting ready for those times where we can focus watering on those. So right now, our real main intention has been just getting us a firm foundation to move forward after those few freezes, and getting the vineyard as healthy and as consistent as possible. That's our everyday vision right now. That's what we have to work on right now. And in the whole scheme of things, like you said, the vineyard's health is everything to everything. I don't have a recipe for these wines. It's what the grapes are, make the wine I'm making. That's it. That's all. So if the grapes aren't good, then I can't do anything about that. So that has to be the foundation. That has to be everything. So we're doing that. We're working on our a pilot program with Sustainable BC for super small producers like us. So I'm in the process of doing that and getting that all tickety boo and moving ahead with that.
That's huge, though.
Yeah. I think sustainability is just, again, it's the most, if we've learned nothing over the last
years, honestly,
being sustainable for our planet, and we have to be.
We have to do it.
You have to do it. And it's not about having that label that we're sustainable. It's about knowing what the best ways to do the things for us here is, and having that structure and having that accountability and having that need to check or watch or I didn't even think about that as something that I should be keeping an eye on. That to me is the important thing. The label, the whatever, it doesn't matter. It's okay. how are we getting to the best way that we can be to make this place as successful as it can be? And that's by being healthy, and being sustainable is being healthy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Who's in charge there?
For Sustainable BC?
No, for Fairview Cellars. I'm just curious who wears the hat of the leader. I know the answer, but like it couldn't be someone more passionate, more lovely, more generous, like kudos to you, who knew? I'm just so grateful you showed up. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. My husband does everything.
If I ask him, he might not say that, but he might. He might.
No, we're a good team though. Yeah.
Yes. So let's just do a little wrap here. So we can find Fairview Cellars online. You have a website. It provides booking information, directions. You can shop online. You can follow Fairview Cellars on Facebook, Instagram. I don't know if you're on LinkedIn, but
No.
whatever.
And it's getting better, because some of those people that I said that I am so grateful for, Annie and Amanda in the tasting room, who are a little bit of a younger generation than me, they said, is it okay if we take over social media a little bit? And I was like, yes, please.
Thank you. It's a lot. It's a lot. I think, do you have a blog on your website too, or something? Is there? No, but that's okay.
No.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, we did. We have this wonderful young lady, Savannah, who was working with us more, and she works with us when she can, but she has a year-round job now, and she was learning. She was helping in everything. So if she comes back to us a little bit more, that was something we talked about. I said, do you want to just do something maybe about your journey on learning what the wine, like what the industry is all about? Because sometimes when you've been in it for a while, you forget
Oh
all
God.
those things that are so new to you. I would love to have that. But nobody needs to hear me talk more than I already do.
Well, we have a lovely On the Good Wine Gal blog, which is on my website. We have a lovely story about you because of our adventure last October. It was
Thank
a great
you.
pleasure
Yes.
to see you again and just recall the fun we had and my delight in
Yeah.
meeting you, because it was really the first time we spent kind of time together, just the two of us. And
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
that I'm just cheering for you. We're going to do women in wine things going forward, more of them. I'm hoping that we get together in Kelowna in 2027 in April, trying to work on a
Yeah.
location and all that stuff where we can just spend a day together and just kind of shoot the breeze and talk about what our learnings are and taste each other's wine and just hang out, because I just want everybody to know everybody's here for you, like we're all here for each other. And
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
it's a good community because men can be supportive too. It's not like I'm excluding anyone, but I just want to highlight, you're not only birthing people, but you're birthing vineyards. Oh my God. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's terrible. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, I think that sounds fantastic, and yeah, I think that any groups, like you said, men, women, whatever, this is great for women. I've had a ton of support from men in the industry as well. I think that we have a lot of groups that already have that commingling situation. I think having that ability to just breathe a bit and say, okay, I think that's wonderful. So
Yeah.
anything that you want to do,
Yay!
I'm
All
in.
right. So cheers to you. One last sip.
Cheers to you.
It's been lovely. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm going to sip now. Thank you. And
Thank you.
I'm going to say goodbye and we will chat again soon. So,
Okay. Thank you.
bye, love.
Bye.